Good afternoon, everyone. You are about to watch an interview I did with Sterge, the lead vocalist from Synthetic, a metal band based in Cambridge that were formed in the fall of 2014. Their debut album, Here Lies the Truth, was self released in March 2016, and they currently are in the process of recording a new album. You'll be able to find their social media links in the description below, alongside the Median Man's social media links. Give us both a follow, you won't regret it. Now, enjoy the interview. Could you, just to start off with, could you tell us a little bit about how the band started off and sort of what drew you to sort of playing the type of metal music that you do?
Okay. So the band was formed officially, I guess, in 2014. And it didn't start as a band. It started as a studio project between myself and Simon, who are the co-founders of the band. We've been childhood friends for years. We used to play together when we were young, and so we had a big gap of inactivity for it was like maybe about 10 years that we haven't done anything together. And then one day Simon said, "Oh, I have this idea. I'm going to send it to you and see what you think." So I've heard the idea, the song. It wasn't even a song at that time. I said, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I really like it. Let's make a song out of it, like the old good days."
Yeah.
So we live in different countries, so we sat on on Skype we did this over Skype actually. So we grabbed our guitars and we started analyzing his idea, and then we made a song, and then it sounded good, and we thought, okay, let's make an album like we used to in the past, just the two of us. So we've made the album. So we started writing the songs. It was obviously took a couple of years, just working on ideas and bouncing ideas off each other, and then we started getting confident because we actually liked what we were doing, and that's the most important thing, isn't it? If you like what you hear, then it's good. Okay, then if the rest of if other people like it, then great. It was very fulfilling. That's what I'm trying to say. It was very fulfilling for both of us, and so we decided to go through the full process of making an album, like a proper album, without the view of playing live or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then we thought that, well, the songs are pretty okay, so maybe we should work with somebody who's really good at mixing and mastering. That's why we decided to work with Ettore from Disharmonia Mundi. And then we also had a guest appearance on one of the songs from Dirk Verburen. He used to play in Soulwork back then. Soulwork is one of my favorite bands. Everybody in the band likes Soulwork, but for me, it's like even right now.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Soulwork everywhere I go, every day, all day. Anyway, and so that's how it started. Then when the album was mixed and mastered, we're really impressed with the output, like the sound of it. I thought, oh my God, we made this. This is amazing. And so I said to Simon, listen, this is good stuff. I want to play this live. We have to share this with people. We have to share this with the world. With the metal community. So what happened is then I formed the band here. I found some brilliant guys, brilliant musicians, fantastic people. That happened about 3 years ago, and so we formed a full band here and we started performing.
Okay.
So the band, as in the act side of things, is 3 years old, but Synthetic as an entity is since 2014 is like 5 years old. So and still to date we go on. We have the same people in the band for the most part of it. Actually, we changed drummers, but like the core of the band is the same, and we're really good friends, like brothers, like family, and it has brought us to where we are today. And where we are today is, I presume, one of your next questions, so I'm going to let you ask it.
So actually, I just wanted to focus. Obviously, the core group of the band has sort of remained the same as you said, but I know from listening to you guys and checking you guys out that you're quite an international band. You're quite spread out everywhere. So what is that like? What's it like trying to keep the band running as a machine when your members are in various different locations?
Extremely tough. I can tell you that much. So yes, in reality, Simon is the only one who's based in a different country.
Okay.
And so the rest of us were based in Cambridge. Now the situation is that only three of us are now based in Cambridge.
Okay.
Our drummer is based in London, and our keyboard player has recently moved to Bristol. So we are quite scattered.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it works now is that, okay, we've been through the phase where we had to be in the studio all the time, because you have a mix of people that never worked together before. We all had to learn how to play the songs from the album. At that time, in the beginning, I guess we were fortunate enough for all of us to be around the same area, so it was very easy to go to the studio and rehearse and practice. And it was important for that time. Where we are now, things are a little bit easier now. Although it sounds like it's a difficult situation, it's not that much because we don't need to be in the studio all the time.
Okay.
We're fully equipped. We're fully equipped. Everybody can rehearse at home. And then when an important event comes up, then we'll get together. We'll go to the studio. Everybody comes prepared. They're all good musicians. I'm the worst musician in the band. Actually, I'm not a musician. Everybody else is. I'm not. Everybody else is almost at a genius level, I should say. And so the guys know what they're doing. They come to the studio. They're all prepared. We're all prepared. We play for 4 hours, and then we're good to go. So that's the plan from now on. So there's the solutions around it. Okay, it's not easy. It's
Mm-hmm.
tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what I said in the beginning. It's not the ideal scenario, but a lot of bands do that these days. They live in different countries, and when the time comes, they come together and they deliver, and that's the plan. That's
Yeah.
how we do it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
In sort of focusing on that little aspect as well, when it comes to writing, because I know you have a new album coming out quite soon as well. So when it comes to writing, I know that some bands sort of they send songs to each other or demos via email, and then they come together and work in the studio. Is that a similar approach to what you do, or do you sort of write in when you're all together in that sort of 4 hour session?
Precisely, it's the first. Yeah, that's how it works. We at the moment we have like 3 core songwriters in the band. I think it's a good number, to be honest. I think if everyone wants to write, then it becomes a little bit more complicated. But obviously, it's very welcome. If everybody wants to write, then great.
Yeah.
Equally, having less people doing the writing is a little bit helpful, especially when we're not all in the same room.
Yeah.
So the way that the writing process works like this. I might come up with a riff, or Simon will come up with a riff, or Hal might come up with a riff, and then it's normally Simon or Hal who are gonna set up a project, and they're gonna start adding some drums and like basic stuff to start with, like create a sketch. And then we start analyzing the ideas, and then Simon or Hal might make us like a little demo, which then gets shared with the rest of the team, and then we start adding more ideas, and we say, okay, can we do this like that? Can we do this like this? Can we change this bit? And it's a forming process that it's very iterative. It takes a lot of it's a cycle. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of tennis playing. We just bounce ideas all the time of each other, and thankfully technology is there these days. It's very helpful. So we have like a shared drive,
Mm-hmm.
right, where we upload all our ideas, which is accessible to every member of the band. Yeah, and that's how it goes. So we have a listen, give feedback, we add ideas, uh, and that's how it goes until we have uh, a demo that is closely closely resembles the final product, if you like. Um, yeah, and that's a very collaborative process.
Okay. And so sort of taking on from that, when you sat down to write this new album, were there any sort of themes or topics that you really wanted to cover that have ended up on the album, or was there anything that sort of you wanted to cover but for whatever reason didn't end up on the album? And is there any extra material that's sort of floating around in the cloud, as it were?
That's a very good question. Um, there's two things of that. One is that, well, first we all agreed that we're going to write from the heart. Okay, so we're not going to push ourselves to go down a specific route or like a specific label. You know, if you ask me what you guys play, I don't know. It's melodic metal.
Yeah.
Um, like we really like melodic death metal. Everything that comes from Sweden and Finland and Norway, we absolutely love it. Uh, all of us in the band absolutely love progressive metal. We've got some people who like power metal. Some of us, the older ones, are still stuck in the 80s. Like Maiden is my favorite band and always will be. So we decided that it's an interesting. We all have different influences, and it would be interesting to see what happens if we bring all those influences together. And
Yeah.
so let's just be free. Don't have any constraints. That's how we started. Okay, now that's one part. The other part is that obviously you need to have some kind of direction,
Yeah.
some kind of musical direction, sound direction. Okay, and I'm not gonna lie, it is heavily influenced by the Swedish side of things. Yeah, bands like Soulwork, Evergrey, In Flames, Catatonia. That's where if I have to place our sound somewhere in a particular space, I'll probably place it there.
Okay.
But that happens without any desire to copy those bands or copy the sound of those bands. It's just that you kind of need to have some framework, and that's our sound framework, if you like. Okay. Now within that, we make it wide enough to be able to be as creative as we can and allow influences to come through. So yeah, there's a lot of freedom, but at the same time, there's a certain framework. And what was the second part of your question?
So it was essentially, was there anything? Were there any themes or topics that you wanted to cover that on the album? And
Yeah. So the other thing we've yes, there's you're mostly referring to lyrics.
So sort of like lyrics, or if there was any sort of stylistic themes that you wanted to include in the album.
So the stylistic approach goes is what I've explained
Yeah.
to you just now. Then the lyrical content is very important for our band. Okay, so I'm extremely particular about this part as well as everything else. Like the guys are all perfectionists. They're absolutely particular about the music elements. Like every single note is very well thought, and so whilst they're being pedantic with the musical side of things, I'm being pedantic with the vocal melody side of things and the lyrics. Okay, so the lyrical content is extremely important for us. I spend a lot of time thinking about how to present my thoughts through the songs, and so the themes. There's always yes, there are particular themes and it's all about phenomena that you encounter in the modern society.
Okay.
Issues around humanity issues, everyday problems like esoteric issues. Some of the songs talk about personal experiences. Some of the songs talk about observations around society and the way it works, and politics, technology, and things like that. And I think that has been the case with the first album, and it's still the case with this album, and I think it will be forever. Like every album that we make, or at least I'm involved with, is gonna go down that route, because I think it's more. It's. I was gonna say personable, but that's not what I'm trying to say. It's more immediate. It makes more sense to talk about real things, real problems. Okay, so we try to be a little bit more poetic about how we express it. So we leave everything open to interpretation. Okay, so none of the songs, you might read it and have an interpretation, or might think of something else. So we leave it a little bit open. We never use profanity. That's one thing I can tell you for sure, is that we no swear words, none of that, because there's so many other beautiful ways that you can express your feelings, your emotions, and your thoughts, so that you don't need to swear about everything. Do we swear when we go down the pub? Yes, all the time, but not in the lyrics.
Yeah.
As far as the last part of your question, yes, this material. So what we've done is we've created a folder where we put riffs and ideas from the past, or from previous lives, and so we dump everything in there, and then we go through that list, and when we find something interesting, we start marrying things together. We're just welding ideas together, and so that's another way of writing. But also that means that you end up with a reservoir of ideas, and some of which are still there, and maybe would form the basis for the next album.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a little bit of material here and there. In that folder, you will find a lot of stuff that might be interesting for future writing. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, sort of taking it from there, like what songs? So obviously, new record is coming out quite soon. What songs from the new record would you want people to really check out? Are there any songs that really stand out to you that you quite like?
Yes, absolutely. And I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could set titles and say more at this day. I can't at this stage, but I'd be very, very, very happy to have another conversation when the album is out, and I can talk you through all of the tracks.
For sure.
But for now, I can say this. I can say that there's two sides on the next album. Has two sides.
Okay.
There's the more sort of heavy, groovy, thrashy sort of side of it.
Yeah.
Usually with a lot of melody and keyboards and stuff like that. And then there's another side which is a more atmospheric, proggy, slow, clean, sort of with inspirations like coming from the likes of Catatonia and Insomnium, that sort of very mellow, melodic, slow burning, atmospheric element. Yeah, and then the other half, as I said before, is the fast, heavy, groovy, more like the I guess the soul work in flames, Disharmonia Mundi sort of kind of route. So the album is split in those two elements, and my biggest problem is that I love both. and so you'd think from a commercial perspective, maybe in the future, maybe we need to be a little bit more. Um, Maybe there needs to be a better alignment between the songs. If there's 10 songs in the record, maybe commercially, maybe it makes more sense to have more unity between the songs. But I'll tell you what, no one likes that. No one in the band likes that idea. We like that variety,
Yeah.
variation. And actually, as I said just now, I'm a little bit torn because because I love both elements, I love both sides. It's very hard to choose.
Yeah.
No, you listen to the lighter stuff, the more proggy stuff, and you go like, oh my god, what? That's a very smart part in the song. That's really good quality, good technique, amazing. It's clean, it's melodic, it's beautiful. And then you listen to the heavier stuff, and you go, oh my god, I just want to break everything.
Brilliant.
Fills me with energy, So it's I don't know. It's both sides. And you know what? When you're involved in the writing process, then you treat the songs like your babies. They are your babies.
Yeah.
So yes, you might love one of them. You might love it a little bit more than the other, but you don't show favoritism. You just love them all.
Like any good parent.
Yeah. Something like that.
So obviously, if you've got such a variety of songs, how do you pick what song to play live? Like which songs to play live? Do you stick to a certain set list, or is it whatever feels right on the day?
That's also a great question. So far we didn't have this problem because we only had one album out, which had 10 songs, of which, like, one of them is not very live friendly. If you like the closing track from the first album is a beautiful track, great track. It's very long. It's not very live friendly though, and it's certainly not very heavy. So far we had 9 songs to choose from. Okay. And so most of the times when we first started playing, we would be given a 30-minute slot. So that's 5 songs. Then that got increased to 40, 45, 50. And so we ended up playing an hour at some point, where basically we played the entire album except the last.
Okay.
The last one. And we did an Iron Maiden cover as well, which people like. Now, when you have to choose, I guess you choose the ones that you love playing as a band, like every single member of the band loves playing, right? And second, the second most important thing is what people want to hear. And so from interacting with fans and friends and people who like the band and like our music, we kind of know which songs work for people, which ones they like.
Yeah.
And you see that on social media as well. You see, if you check your statistics and all of that, which song streams more than another, and which songs are popular. So there's 2 sides to that. There's first songs that we like to play the most, and number 2, the songs that are more popular.
Okay.
So it's not a very tough decision to make.
Okay.
Now when the second album comes out, it's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
But then we have 20 songs to choose from, and that's going to be tough.
Okay.
Because I can tell you this. I want to play every single song from the second album. Every single song I want to play live.
Brilliant.
Which is a statement I've never made for the first album. But this album, I want to play every single song from the album.
Okay, interesting.
So it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect conundrum to have, though, isn't it? To have.
Oh yeah.
So for sort of final question for me, what are your plans for the future? Obviously, you're in the process of making the album, so what's next? What's next for you guys?
Okay, so we a lot of the stuff that happens, we in the band, we keep close to our chests because it's family matters really. Um, and so I'm trying not to be overly excited or reveal too much when I speak publicly or when I talk to people. And but now I'm oozing with excitement for the fact that we have been in conversations with a number of labels.
Okay.
Um, and all I can say right now is that I've made a promise to myself, and the guys in the band have made a promise to themselves that this new album is not going to be a self-release.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to leave it there for now.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that there's a promise that it's not just a desire; it's a promise now that, and it looks like it's going that way. That this coming album is not going to be a self-released album.
Okay.
And it's going to be supported by a label.
Okay.
Yeah. So if that happens, then it kind of changes the game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have to collaborate with a label and see what the plan is. But our desire is to basically take the album everywhere and just play in Europe next year.
Okay.
So we wanna be a little bit, wanna be very serious about how we choose the venues that we play, the bands that we play with, the promoters, the bookers. You know, we kind of need to get to that next level, which is okay. Let's work with the right people. Let's find the right people. Work with the right people. Play in the right venues with the right bands in front of the right people. Okay, because not everybody likes what we do. So we need to find where our audiences are and just go and play for these people. Organize a tour in the UK is very easy, but we would love to go and play in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
No, we'd love to play in Sweden, love to play in Finland, Greece. There's people waiting.
Yeah.
There's loyal fans and friends been waiting for years for us to turn up and play down there. So we got to do that. You know, the Netherlands, Germany, you know, all those markets are amazing for the kind of music that we play, and we really want to be able to do that. So the plan for next year is try and do this. Perhaps, you know, if we can do 10, 15 good shows, yeah, in Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 good shows here in the UK. That's all we ask for. That would be amazing for next year, and then we can come back and start writing the next album and so on until we manage to get, you know, to bigger stages and festivals and things like that. So it's a journey, but to start with, the plan is let's try and play 10, 15 really good shows in Europe next year.
Okay.
And about 10 shows here in the UK and see what happens.
Okay, interesting. So that's everything from my side. Is there anything you would like to add? Where can people find you guys on social media, on YouTube, on Spotify? Are you?
Yes. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for your time and for having us.
Not a problem. It's always my pleasure.
Second, if people are interested to find out more, we're on every digital platform, not every social media platform, but the most renowned ones, I guess, the most popular ones. So Instagram, you'll find us on Instagram at synthetic.metal.band. You'll find us on Facebook, and please, you know what's coming now. Please push that little button. Push that little like button. It's very important. It's really, really important. So Facebook, Synthetic Metal, one word. Yes, we're on YouTube. If you type Synthetic Metal Band or Synthetic Here Lies the Truth, which is the title of our first album, you'll find our channel. It'd be great if you subscribe. It's those Facebook likes Those
Yeah,
really, really matter these days.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Really, yeah, really eager to get those coming through. So yes, if your if your if your followers could just go online and push that little thing, the like button, that'd be great, and we would deeply appreciate it. If anyone wants to get in touch with the band, you can do that via Facebook, I guess. We did have a website. We don't have a website anymore, but we're in the process of building one again, another like a new site, so people would be able to subscribe on the mailing list and send us emails and things like that. But yeah, that's where you find us. Spotify, of course.
Okay. On Spotify, are you synthetic metal as well, or is it just synthetic there? Or
It's just synthetic. There's a little bit. There's a small problem with that. There's a few other synthetic bands in there, none of which plays metal. Um, and it has been a little bit of a problem for us, actually. Um, the easiest way to find it on Spotify is if you type synthetic "Here Lies the Truth,"
okay,
which is the title of the first album.
sure thing. Right.
That's the easiest way to make sure that you land on the right.
Yeah.
On the right page.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be sure to put all the links in the video description below as well when the video goes up on the YouTube channel, so that everyone can find it and they don't stumble across some shitty little pop band or something.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. And yeah, be sure to check out Synthetic on all their social media channels, and be sure to give them a like and a subscribe, because that's really what every band needs now to keep going, because the industry sucks. But yeah, awesome.